So somebody asked me this question where actually nobody asked me this question. I kind of just put this down as a video. Basically, what would I do in the first 90 days of building my business? If I were to do this from scratch, what would I do from scratch in 90 days? Here's what I would do. So first thing is I would get really focused on the right things, because so many people, they think, oh, let me build a business card, or let me get an LLC, let me do a logo and all that stuff. They do everything that doesn't actually matter. So I would only focus on the actual things that will get me on stages. And here's what those things are. So one, I would put up a website. So I'd have a website built in like a week. Well, really in a couple days, but the longest, even if you don't know how to build a website, the way WordPress works nowadays is so freaking easy. You can just build it in 1 week. It's literally like drag and drop. You just, all right, drag, drop, let me put an image here, let me do that. It's just drag and drop, right? So first thing is you want to build a website within 1 week. That'd be the first thing. And I would focus on, my main focus would be not to get paid. It would just be to get on a stage. So when I have the website built, I would just build a website, and my entire focus throughout this whole thing would be, how do I get on stages? I wouldn't worry about getting the money to be on a stage. After I have the website built in 1 week, that's all a day, 1 week. After that, I would now, number one, is build a database of events. So if I were to, let's say if I were to hire someone to build the website for me, I would now focus on building a database of events. If I had to build the website myself, I'd build the website, then I'd build the database of events. But basically, I would build a database of events, a list of events that I think that I'd be good to speak at. I'd build a list. Then I would contact them. Like immediately after I built the list one day, I would contact them the next day. I'd start working those leads, and I would adjust what I was saying based on how they're responding to me. So I would use tools like Yesware, PersistIQ, and I would see what emails are they responding to, and then what are they saying in the responses, and I would start to adjust, because Yesware and all these tools, they say like, oh, here's a 40% open rate, and oh, here's a 23% reply rate, and it says all this stuff. So I would think about, how do I get those numbers up in terms of reply and all that stuff. So first I build a database of events, then I start contacting them, and I would get used to the prospecting mode, because if there's one reason that I see a lot of people fail, is just that they don't get used to prospecting. They don't get used to reaching out to people that they want to do business with. They'll send out one email and that's it. I mean, just done. I mean, the person doesn't contact them again. They're like, oh, man, no. And then like literally 1 week or 2 weeks later, they stop contacting people. And so what would happen is, in the beginning, you have to get used to it. It's a process. You're literally learning a skill. And so I would get used to the grind, right? So number one is I built the database of events. Two is I contact them. Three is I would get used to the grind. I get used to doing this, the whole process. And then four, I would just figure out what market responds to me. So you as a speaker have a certain style, the way your website is, the way everything is, the way you're building your website, everything, this style and this topic and everything about you determines who's going to respond to you. So if I'm going after events and I start noticing that sales events tend to reply to my emails more and they seem more interested, then I'm going to focus more on them. I'm going to focus more on the sales events rather than just any event whatsoever. So that's what I would do. I would focus on gathering data. Really, in the first 90 days, you should essentially be focused on building out your prospecting system, your outreach campaigns. A lot of people, they sit there and they do useless things, like their business card. They're like, how do I sign up for an LLC and all this stuff? They do useless things. You want to focus on, all right, let me build my website. Let me build up a database of events, and let me contact those events, and let me get used to contacting them. Let me get used to this process, this daily grind of doing this thing. And that's what I would essentially do. I wouldn't focus on writing a book. I wouldn't care about a book. I wouldn't care about creating a bio. None of that stuff. I would simply focus on the money. I'd focus on getting the business, because writing a book, number one, is going to take a long time. Number two, just because you have a book doesn't mean you're going to get on stages. So that's that. Then when it comes to creating a bio, what I've noticed is that a lot of people, they take like a week or 2 weeks to create a bio, even though it shouldn't take them that long. All you do when someone says, do you have a bio? You write it right there and then. In the beginning, I wouldn't be doing anything except contacting people. If someone were to send me an email saying, hey, we want to bring you to an event, do you have a bio? Then I would just write like a paragraph or 2 paragraphs and send it to them. Here's my bio. That's it. And so I would create it at the moment that I needed it. But that's essentially what I would do in the first 90 days. So the first thing is I would focus on just getting a gig, not getting paid. I wouldn't worry about anyone who says, oh, you got to do a proposal or speak for, I wouldn't care about that. So that'd be a first thing, my state of mind. Second thing, I'd have the website up within a week. Then I build a database of events. I contact those events. I get used to contacting those events. And then I figure out which people are responding to me. That way I can start contacting more of them. That's what I would do in the first 90 days. And by the way, I mean, if you want me to help you with your website, like we've got the website templates in the Speak Pro Academy. We've got the whole cadence built out for you in terms of contacting the events, the email templates, everything is in there. If you want help, if you just want to get going like immediately instead of taking like a year or 2 to figure this out yourself, then just join the Speak Pro Academy. Everything is inside the Speak Pro Academy. I don't see why anyone would take so much time figuring this stuff out themselves when it's like a whole freaking franchise, a speaking business franchise inside of Speak Pro Academy. But that's what I would do if I were to start over in the first 90 days. And by the way, guys, make sure you like this, you share it with other people. If you have any questions about anything that comes with marketing, then make sure you send me an email to info@speakandlifestyle.com.